What's going on, internet? I am the Masked Man, and in this video, I want to talk about Robin Harris Unsung special. Um, Now, Robin Harris, is a guy who is, well known to people who are big fans of black comedy. We know who Robin Harris is, but there's not a whole lot available from Robin Harris because he died rather young, or he died before his career could really get off the ground. Now there was a documentary, a proper documentary made about Robin Harris. So the criticism that I had of the Red Fox Unsung special doesn't really apply to Robin Harris because he actually had a documentary made about him. And I'm not aware of any documentary, a proper documentary made about Red Fox, but he at least has that full length coverage. Now, D.L. Hughley, before the actual special began, had said a comment, and I would like it if anybody watching this can verify this for me. D.L. Hughley said that without Robin Harris, there would be no Def Comedy Jam. Now, I have always been under the impression that Eddie Murphy was the inspiration for Def Jam because I saw Def Jam first. I saw Def Jam, then I saw Eddie Murphy Raw and Eddie Murphy Delirious. I think in that order specifically. And once I saw Eddie Murphy and I thought back to Def Jam and realized that Eddie Murphy came out before Def Jam, I looked at it and I said, all these niggas are trying to be Eddie Murphy. That was my impression. I said, it's a million niggas trying to be Eddie Murphy. Some did it. Some did a great job. Some did a subpar job, but all of them were trying to do their best Eddie Murphy impersonation. But D.L. Hughley said in the beginning of this special that there would be no Def Comedy Jam without Robin Harris. Now I want to know, am I mistaken? From the little bit that I know of Robin Harris and the little bit that was included in this TV One special, I can certainly see elements of what Def Comedy Jam was all about. And Robin Harris was a guy who was very committed to his craft, very serious about being the best that he could be on that stage. And I respect, D.L. Hughley's opinion, and he certainly has more knowledge of those things than I do. So I really want to know, who's right? Is D.L. Hughley right that Robin Harris was the guy who inspired Russell Simmons to make Def Comedy Jam and put it into that particular format, or is Eddie Murphy the guy who was the inspiration and who was thought of when they was coming up and formatting Def Comedy Jam? Let me know. Enlighten me, because I want to have this shit straight in my mind when I'm assigning credit and when I'm, putting things into perspective. I want to know who to give proper credit to. But as far as this TV One special goes, again, these unsung specials have a consistent format, have a consistent tone, have a consistent way of doing things or explaining things. Everything has to be put into a sad, negative light. But Robin Harris, from what I could see, was not a man that did a lot of drugs or any drugs. He didn't beat women. He got married and he stayed married until he died. And I either think the woman came with her own child or he had a child with her. So Robin Harris was pretty much a stand-up guy. He was a stand-up dude. And they made a big issue of him working too much, that he took his job too seriously. And I'm just like, the man was passionate about what he did. He was passionate. And they was like, well, he worked so hard it killed him. I was just like, this man took his craft seriously. This man took his job seriously, and he poured his heart into it. They had a story where he where he was on stage and he was slaying. He was killing the audience. They was running out of the audience in tears, laughing, crying, dying, and he jumped off stage and he started crying and saying they not laughing. And it was like, oh man, you killing them, Robin. And it's like, oh really? It's like he was that wrapped up in it, and he would do shows for free, and he would work constantly to try to make himself better. And I think Robin, I think this whole story could be looked at as a case study in professionalism and passion and applying yourself to your craft. And instead, they put it into the TV one unsung machine, and they turned out another sad story of a man who never reached, the highest levels in his profession and died prematurely due to overworking himself or not taking good care of himself. Um, with Robin Harris, we don't know if what he had could have been prevented with a simple checkup, to see a doctor. We don't know if it could have been prevented if he had slowed down and not worked so hard. I mean, anything that you pour yourself into, any profession that you pour yourself into or that you work at tirelessly can take a lot out of you. It can put a strain and a stress on your body. It doesn't matter what you do. But let's not act like being a stand-up comedian is like being a coal miner. This nigga is not, this nigga's not working on oil wells 23-hour days, non-stop. It's like that nigga ain't got that life. He didn't have that life. He wasn't working like that. He was working as hard as you can work in the way that he worked and in his profession. But let's put this in proper perspective. This man did not have a job that was breaking his back and breaking his bones and collapsing his body in the way that it would just cause him to have a heart attack from being overworked. That could have come from a variety of factors. That could have come from a bunch of different things. It could have been a genetic hereditary defect that was going to catch him regardless. I don't like the TV one unsung narrative. That's why I don't watch, a lot of sad black films. There's just a bunch of movies and kind of things that I don't watch because black people love telling these sad ass stories when you can. And I don't want to see the flip side either. I don't want to see happy, upbeat stories either. I want to see a story told, in a constructive way. Like, give us the history, give us the past, but let's make this a learning experience. Let's make this something to learn off of. Let's make it something to build off of. Let's make the Robin Harris story, ignite, a fire in the up and coming comedians. Let's show him what he did really well. Let's show him what pitfalls to avoid. And there wasn't a lot that he did wrong. There wasn't a whole lot. What, he didn't get a checkup from a doctor? Is that like, does that warrant this bad tone that this special was in? Now, I can't remember all of the details of the special, but I do recommend that you check it out. A guy on YouTube, go watch the videos as long as you can, because I don't know how long they'll be up. It was a very good special. as far as giving me information that I did not have. I would rather, see the full length documentary. Whenever I get the money, I will check that out. With Robin Harris, Bebe's Kids had an HBO special, was, one of the, you know, the inventor of a certain type of style. Like I said in the beginning of the video, D.L. Hughley said that there would be no Def Jam. I certainly see how there would be no D.L. Hughley without Robin Harris, because I look at Robin Harris and I look at D.L. Hughley and I see, basically, I see derivative. I see a derivative of Robin Harris and D.L. Hughley. So I can certainly see how there would be no DL, but I'm not sure if there would be no Def Comedy Jam. That's something that y'all are going to have to let me know about. But anyway, I'm feeling a little under the weather. I just wanted to talk about that particular special. I'm going to talk about several other of the Hollywood versions of Unsung. Let me know what you think about the Robin Harris story. How was it told? Did you like it? Did you know of any facts that were not covered in the Robin Harris story? Let me know. Put it in the comments. Rate this video, like it, dislike it, be honest. Subscribe to my channel to keep up with the videos that I'm making. If you want to send me an email, if you want me to talk about a specific subject, if you want to talk about something for the media, you can send me an email at themrmassman@gmail.com. No relationship questions, please. You can follow me on Twitter and find me on Facebook at themrmassman. That is all I have to say about this subject, and I will see you in the next video.